But wham! I don't know about you, but sometimes a blame comes sideways. Wham! Right? It just comes at you and you go, oh my goodness. That's my experience of blame, whether when I was a kid and I got blamed, or whether I was in high school and I got blamed, or whether I was in the workplace. So what do? Return to center. So what we need to do, that's the first step. Unless you didn't get pushed off of your grounded, centered, wise, adult, best self. If you manage to stay there, I congratulate you to return to center. Now, how do you do that? Here we go. You create a wider space between what you're experiencing and your response. Viktor Frankl, survivor of the Holocaust, a beautiful man who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, one of the most classic books that's required in Psychology 101, said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So what do? We do nothing. I sat there, I kind of nodded my head, say nothing, do nothing. It may feel like eternity, but often it's only 1 or 2 minutes. Then notice your body sensations. For me, my shoulders kind of go up, sometimes my hands clench, my stomach, often a knot is formed in my stomach. Notice the body sensations. Inhale into the, and do this right now. This would help you picture that wham moment for you. Just put your left hand or your right hand on your belly and let the breath go in your belly. I actually put my hand, I was sitting, so it was easy to put my hand on my belly and watch the breath go into the belly. Recognize and name the emotion. Shock. I actually felt some shame, embarrassment, could feel some heat coming to my face, right? And then on the exhale, notice some calming, just sort of like butter melting, calming. This, if you practice this, do nothing, stay still, and just practice. Remember, here's a little practice for you. Recall a time where you had some heated blame come your way. Remember it and do this little exercise. Practice it so it's readily available to you for the next time you have a wham of blame, okay? If you're not triggered, then you go to step 2, all right? So once you get yourself back to center, you'll go to step 2. Now, if you're still challenged to get to center, practicing this little tool of the breathing, please consider getting my book, which just got released this summer, called Return to Center. Step 2, listen with curiosity. Curiosity. Indicate you are ready to listen. I highly recommend that you sit down. Usually if we sit down, the other party will sit down with us. And even if we put our hand out, the other person typically will sit down. I'm listening. Acknowledge their feelings. I hear you feel angry. That's usually where it starts. If this is a wham blame situation. Yeah, I hear you feel angry. Remember that anger is a secondary emotion. So we're going to work at getting down underneath the core feelings, which then are the seed of what is the want or need, which is the problem. Then you affirm. It makes sense that you feel angry if you view this decision as unfair. And often unfairness is one of the lists of why people blame. Is, you can acknowledge it. And then option, you can say, tell me more about this decision being unfair. Then You reflect emotions under the anger. I imagine you feel hurt that this happened unfairly to you. And if they nod their head, sometimes you have to stay longer at anger. Anger's got a lot of charged emotion, charged energy. And once it starts to come down, sometimes you start to, there's indicators like, a tear in the eye, and you can say, I imagine you feel hurt that this was so unfair, right? And then seek to find the need or want. You can sometimes, it doesn't matter if you're off. People just appreciate that you're seeking to understand. And as you're seeking to understand, it's helping them understand what was going on for them, because they've lost their prefrontal cortex. And in the listening, once that charged energy starts to calm, the ability to think logically and to connect with you return to center. So we're helping this individual to return to center. We've got two people that are triggered. We're just going to have more conflict. But if you can either bring yourself back to centered and welcome them to come back to centered, then we have conflict resolution opportunities. So seek to find the need or want. I hear you feel scared. You can't support your family on your present income. And then you validate. I imagine that was hard to share, and it helps me to understand. So you're validating that somebody is coming back and making connection, and that you're trying to understand. But what if somebody is like this? What if somebody says, no. You are the problem. You are the problem. You treat me unfair and you have to leave, not me. So, let's not stay in her face too long. But if that happens, you use what's called a DRT. So defuse. I hear you feel hurt, and I promise I will review the decision or whatever. And maybe it's back to anger. I hear you feel angry, maybe because it's just not going anywhere and they're keeping themselves charged. Number 2, reason. Right now, this conversation is not going anywhere positive, or right now, neither of us are in any state to solve this. Whatever. Right now, this isn't working. And then I will be in my office at 11 a.m. and we can continue this discussion then, and you shut it down. Because if you're sitting here with your prefrontal cortex on, welcoming conflict resolution, and this person's still doing their dance, you're not going to get anywhere. So you shut it down. 3 is if they do come back connection with you, when the blamer has returned to center, and you do the problem solving. Reframe the unfilled need or want. That's the problem. Do I understand the problem is you need some income to support your family and need a promotion like Joe got. That's why this unfairness got triggered so badly. I mean, sometimes we're treated differently than other people and it doesn't trigger us. And other times we do. Usually there's an underlying reason. And then you brainstorm solutions, and then you choose the best idea. And define specific commitments, actions, and responsibilities.